Inato. So here we are again with another episode for our Christmas edition. This time, gagawa tayo ng our very own Filipino dessert. So I actually made this recipe on my own. So I do hope that you guys will enjoy this. So lahat ng ingredients na to is really purely Filipino made. And this is a combination sa most na mga known na mga kakanin natin. But this time, we're making it into a dessert. We have 4 layers or 4 preparations for this dessert. So let's start with the first layer. So ito yung coconut panna cotta natin na base. So we start with 1 can of coconut cream, that's 400 ml. Tapos we'll be using like only 3 tablespoons of water. Nag-bloom lang ako ng gelatin. That's 2 teaspoon of gelatin. So blooming is nilalagay lang talaga natin yan sa water para medyo it will soften up before we add it to our coconut cream or coconut base. So ilalagay lang natin yung coconut cream natin, and then we will also add half cup of white sugar. So we'll just put it in a saucepan, and then since we are handling cream, you have to make sure na hindi yan magbo-boil. Kasi the moment that it will boil, it will curdle up, eventually it will split. The moment that it will split, para talaga yung sad texture na. So instead of getting creamy, you're no longer get that creamy texture kasi nag-iiba na yung texture niya. It will become sandy. So we don't want that to happen. So ginawa ko dito is I mixed it first on a saucepan, and then I mix our cream, and then I mixed also the sugar, and then we put it on low fire. So we just keep on mixing it hanggang sa mag-simmer siya sa gilid, but not to the extent it's boiling. So yung simmer lang is really low fire, and then eventually just keep on mixing it para hindi naman siya nag-stick sa bottom. So we will have like 4 layers for this. This is yung coconut na base natin, and then we will make yung chocolate base, which is actually the second layer, and then yung latik natin, at saka yung the last will be the topping, which is the shredded coconut. So it's actually roasted. Madali lang naman yun. So at least dito this is actually a good substitute for leche flan. Most of us are already used to na leche flan yung prepare natin when it comes to Christmas. However, this is also a very good substitute. At least maiba naman yung preparation natin for Christmas. So let's just make sure that this mixture is simmering, or yun lang talagang parang nag-smoke lang siya, but not to the extent you'd be able to see like a lot of bubbles, yung boiling talaga. So just really simmer. The moment na makikita nyo na yung parang smoke niya, that will be the time na ilalagay na natin yung gelatin natin na we have bloomed for about 5 minutes. And then as soon as nalagay na natin yung gelatin natin, then we just have to make sure that we have to properly mix it. And then you would make sure that the gelatin would be fully incorporated or mix na sa coconut mixture natin. So this time, nilagay ko na yung gelatin natin, and then we will mix it. Let's make sure na hindi talaga nagbo-boil tong mixture natin. So this is actually medyo matagal-tagal yung process niya. But for this, sa isang can, it just took me like parang mga 7 to 10 minutes when I reach the palang smoke point or simmering point. And then after nilagay ko yung gelatin, it's just about 1 to 2 minutes, and it's done. So after this, we're gonna transfer it to a mold. Swerte ako kasi nakita ko pa yung Tupperware ng mami ko. Yun yung ginamit ko sa mold dito. So I was supposed to throw that like 5 years ago. Good thing di ko ginawa. At least nagamit ko pa dito. Nagalit mami ko nun eh. So, here we go. We're gonna transfer it to a mold and then we're going to refrigerate this for about 4 to 6 hours if hindi ka nagmamadali. However, sa akin, I usually do the shortcut. So, what I did is I put it in the freezer less than 30 minutes. So, never na gawin mo more than 30 minutes kasi if nag-freeze yan, nag-iibad talaga texture. So, I just place it on the freezer for less than 30 minutes or while I'm doing this other procedure. So, ito yung ginagawa ko, yung traditional na pagpiga ng shredded coconut para makakuha ako ng first na piga or what we call as the coconut cream. So, however, if you don't want to do this, you could always replace it with the coconut cream, yung canned na. It's fine. And then, para may toppings ka naman, you could always replace it with the desiccated coconut. So, just please make sure hindi mo itatapon yung shredded coconut natin na gagamitin pa natin yun mamaya. So, for this is about 1 cup of coconut cream na nagawa sa out sa half kilo na shredded coconut. So, I'm just gonna put in a mascovado sugar, which is 1/2 cup. So, out of 1 cup na cream, 1/2 cup yung nilagay ko na mascovado. I prefer mascovado kasi it has this sweet scent. However, hindi siya masyado matamis. It's the same with palm sugar. However, mascovado is more intense. At saka ito yung talagang traditional na ginagamit natin sa mga kakanin natin, which really makes it different and outstand from other dishes, international dishes. So, yun, nilagay ko is 1/2 cup lang. And then, naglagay din ako ng calamansi. 2 calamansi ginamit ko. Pero medyo maasim-asim na to. So, if you don't want it really that sour, pwede lang minimize it, just one calamansi. And then, wag mo itapon yung balat kasi gagamitin natin yan dito. It would also give a different scent sa latik natin. So, ito talaga ginagawa ng province eh. So, I saw this in a province Cebu, I think that was southern Cebu, sa may Argao. So yun, nakita ko yung ginagawa nila. So eto yung sinunod ko. It's really traditional. So yun, minix ko na. And then, since this is also coconut cream, we're gonna put it on just low to medium fire. I would still prefer low fire kasi niya sa texture niya. Pero ito hindi to na medyo nagsplit eh. So, that's fine if you go to medium fire. But make sure na nagme-mix ka pa rin thoroughly while you're on medium fire. Babantayan mo talaga yan. And then, we're going to thicken this up. But hindi yung masyadong malapot kasi eventually if matatagalan mo talaga tong pag-mix at saka pag-boil neto, it will thicken up to the extent na parang nag-harden na candy. So, let's just make sure we stop to a point wherein it's still a bit runny. Because once it cools down, or kung malabig na siya, it will thicken up. So, we will stop to a point wherein medyo hindi siya gaanong malapot. So, the moment that it cools down, nakukuha natin yung texture na talagang parang nagpo-flow pa rin yung, or parang to the extent na parang saucy talaga yung latik natin. So, ito yung ginagawa talaga. Minsan, tinatapin to sa biko. So, this time, we're gonna put it on our traditional, on our modern. Tatawagin nila natin tong modern. Kasi fusion to eh. Fusion ng Western na dessert, which is we call as Panna Cotta. And then, I'm just making it to Asian flavor. And then, ito yung maganda sa calamansi na balat eh. Parang it's a bit bitter, pero hindi naman siya talagang bitter na nag-affect sa sauce natin, sa latik natin. It just really adds a really very good scent to it. So, if hindi mo gusto masyadong maasim, lagyan mo lang ng isa lang na calamansi. So, we're gonna boil this or just simmer it for, it just takes about maybe 5-7 minutes. Kasi konti lang yung it's just about 1 cup. 1 cup of coconut cream. So this is our second preparation for this dessert. So this will become actually our sauce. It will really flavor. Ito talaga nagdadala ng flavor sa dessert natin. So I actually named this dessert CocoTsoko Loco. Kasi nung tinikpan ko talaga to parang boom. I didn't really expect ganito talaga yung outcome niya. But it's really, really, really good. It's something for very traditional flavors, fusion natin sa western na procedure or dessert, and making it our very own flavors for their type of dish. Masyadong sikat to eh. Meron nga akong napuntahan na nagsiserve sila ng panna cotta, mahal. Parang ice cream cup lang. Tapos they're serving it at 220 pesos. So actually it's a very easy dessert, and it would really be good if a lot of you would be able to experience this in your home. So eto na yung latik natin after 7 to 8 minutes. So yun, medyo watery pa siya, but then it still sticks to the spatula. So that's already the consistency. This is already the consistency that I would need. Kasi if it will, as soon as it will cool down, it will still thicken up. So this is already the enough texture. So tingnan nyo lang talaga yung consistency niya. Because it would actually differ depende sa fire nyo. So just look at the texture para malaman nyo kung hanggang kailan yung magsistop. So this time, remember yung kinuna natin ng coconut cream. Ito yung ginamit ko. Konti lang talaga ginagamit ko dito. Parang half lang yung ginamit ko dito eh. But if you're using like desiccated coconut, you could still do the same procedure. You just really have to roast it. So eto, I'm doing it on medium fire. Wag yung high ha. Kasi if you're gonna do it on high fire, kahit na you are stirring it occasionally or mixing it occasionally, you will burn it out. So mas maganda talaga if medium fire. So, eto, pasensya to eh. Medyo pasensya lang. Pero, it's a different process. Pero, madali lang. Almost like every process, parang 5-10 minutes. Ganun lang. So, it's just really on the assembly. Yun talaga makikita mo. Oh, this is everything that I have done for the past few minutes, for the past few hours. So, ayun. So, eto lang. Rino-roast lang talaga natin to on a pan. Walang oil yan. Direkta talaga yan na yung shredded coconut na ginamit natin or yung desiccated coconut. So, eventually, it will brown up. Yun, eto yung golden brown. So, this is already like a very good color for you to stop. You would know kasi once you parang nagmi-mix ka, mapi-feel mo yung parang nagki-crispy na yung yung shredded coconut. So, before I took it off from the pan, nilagyan ko to ng 2 teaspoon ng brown sugar. It's just, kasi tinanggalan na to natin ng creamer, ng juice. So, just to add up like a little spike to it. Tsaka crunchy din yung yung brown sugar pag nilagay mo. So, nilagyan ko lang talaga to ng 2 teaspoon na brown sugar. Mix it up, then after 2-3 minutes, pinatay ko na yung apoy. And then that's it. This is already considered as the very topping. So, after the latik, ito yung topping natin. O, diba? Madali lang. Parang feel mo na parang it's a very difficult dish to make or dessert to make. Pero madali lang to. There's just really a lot of process. At saka, di mo naman kailangan ni master to eh. As long as you would know yung heat niya, di ka magmamadali. That's it. So, eto ni yung second layer ng panna cotta natin. So, I just used half cup of fresh milk. And then, here comes our Tableya, to tinatawag namin sa sa Cebu. Ewan ko kung anong tawag dito sa Tagalog. I'm not really sure. But, gumamit ako ng 3 na Tableya. Tapos, nilagyan ko din ng 1 tablespoon na cocoa powder. It's a good quality cocoa powder. Mix ko na ito eh. The Tableya is actually a dark chocolate. So, make sure good quality din yung Tableya nyo. Marami din dyan sa supermarket na makikita mo na they're selling Tableya. But of course, it's not really that pure. Marami ng sugar yan. So, you would know kasi the moment that you touch the Tableya, matigas yan. So, But however, if may makuha kayo na tableya na once you crush it with your own hand, tapos nagpa-powder yan, no, that's not pure. So, hanapin mo talaga yung pure na tableya, yung matigas talaga, na parang oily na yung texture niya. So, you need to make sure that it's a good quality. Tapos, yung coco nyo din, or cocoa, it would really be good if you use really good quality. Malalaman mo yan eh. Just ask your supermarket kung ano talaga yung magandang quality. And then, usually Dutch process. Maganda yung quality ng Dutch process. As long as you look for that really bitter na kana cocoa, yun, maganda yun. So, eto yung mix ko. The reason why I did this, na mix ko na talaga tong dalawang to, kasi yung tableya natin, it's really dark. That's what we call, it's really dark chocolate natin. Tapos, yung cocoa it's a bit creamy kasi. It's powder na eh. So, it will actually add up na magiging creamy yung texture ng chocolate panna cotta natin. Kasi if tableya lang, para yung grainy eh. Ma-feel mo yan pag yung tinatawag natin si Cotta dito sa Cebu or Tsokolate sa Manila. Parang yung may texture siya eh. So, in order to balance it, ginagawa ko is I add up cocoa powder just to balance it out and to make it a bit creamy. Pero, it's not cream that I'm using. It's actually just to make sure that yung parang yung texture niya mag-iiba. Tapos, this is on high fire. Kasi milk pa lang to eh. Hindi to cream pa ginagamit ko neto. So, since yung tableya mahirap talagang i-dissolve. So, ginagawa ko. Yung traditional na ginagawa natin. Yung parang, kung sa Cebu pa tinatawag namin, yung butterol yata yun eh. So, however, wala ako nun. So, ginamit natin yung whisk. This is just really to make sure na ma-dissolve natin yung tableya natin. So, this is gonna be a vigorous mixing para talaga mag-mix yan. Matagal itong mag-melt eh. Parang atigas ng ulo para mga Cebuano din. So, yun nga. May maganda ding tsokolate na yung tableya, yung ginagawa. I've heard is Davao. Meron talaga diyang magandang quality. Yun yung Malagos chocolate. They're actually known sa, parang yung may competition yun sa Italy ba yun? Nakalimutan ko. Pero, that's one of a good brand na chocolate. So, or tsokolate. May 70% sa kanila. Never go below 70% na cocoa content. Yan, minimix ko na talaga yan. Yun talaga malakas na mix. Makikita mo dyan sa gilid na andun pa rin yung mga tsokolate niyan eh. So, that's how it is. Yun yung reason talaga na minimix ko to sa cocoa powder just to parang balance it out. Then, as soon as it's already boiled, makikita mo na na-mix mo na yun or it actually madidissolve na yung tsokolate. What we're gonna do is, we're going to add this now to our cream. This is 1 pack. I'm using actually 1 pack of cream. And then we're going to temper this. So, temper ha. Yung tempering is what we term as parang ina-adjust mo yung temperature ng cream. Kasi sabi ko nga kanina, di ba, na if you're going to boil the cream, it's going to split. The moment it will split, it will destroy the texture. So, instead of getting smooth, you're going to get like a sandy texture. Hindi na siya nagiging creamy. So, what we do is, para hindi mabigla yung cream, nilalagay natin yung mainit na mixture natin na tsokolate. So, we are warming up the cream para maka-adjust siya sa temperature ng tsokolate na hindi siya nabibigla. So, this time, yung ginagawa natin, parang minimix natin galing sa boiling mixture yung tsokolate sa cream. But not the other way around, ha? Huwag niyo ilagay yung cream doon sa mainit. Kasi the moment that you put a little cream doon sa mainit na tsokolate, it's going to curdle up. Kasi yung konting cream doon, di yan makaka-adjust sa sobrang init ng tsokolate. So, it's always tsokolate, lalagay nyo sa cream. So, this time, since na-warm up na yung cream natin, ilalagay na natin to this time sa chocolate natin. So, eto na yung second base natin. Ito na yung tsokolate natin na panna cotta. Right? So, since meron na tong cream, automatic, low fire tayo. So, this is gonna be set on low fire hanggang mag-simmer to. So, still the same. Parang nagbo-boil lang yung sides niya. However, it's not to a point where it's really boiling. Parang simmer lang. Konting mga bubbles, konting smoke, and then that's it. And then we add gelatin. Yun pa rin ginawa natin kanina sa first na mixture. 3 tablespoon na tubig. Tapos, this time, since this is already heavy, nilagay ko lang dito is 1 teaspoon ng gelatin. So, you can just use, instead of 3 tablespoon na water, just use 2 tablespoon na water, tapos 1 teaspoon of gelatin. Tapos still, bloom it for about 5 to 10 minutes before you put it into the mixture para malambot na din yung gelatin, ready for mixing na dito sa chocolate mixture natin. So, tapos na tayo sa pangalawang layer ng panna cotta natin. So, by the moment that you're already done with this, it would be pretty much sure na nag-set na yung coconut mixture natin sa freezer. So, that's the reason why I'm putting it in the freezer. Kasi if you're not gonna put it in the freezer, it's gonna take like 2 days for you to prepare this one. So, nag-shortcut na ako, nilagay ko na lang sa freezer, but making sure na hindi yun lalagpas sa 30 minutes. So, all those procedures na ginawa natin, you could always do this in less than 30 minutes. So, however though, if lumagpas na kayo ng 30 minutes, check yung coconut mixture natin and check it if nag-set na. If nag-set na siya, or as long as it's not freezing, basta as long as parang malamig na siya, and then once you touch it, yung parang pwede mo na ilagay yung second layer, yun, ilagay mo na lang sa baba ng ref. Or hindi sa baba ng ref, sa loob ng ref, pero yun, baba ng freezer. Or just refrigeration lang. Or cooling na lang. So, yun. Eto, nilagay na natin yung gelatin natin. So, still the same. Pareho pa rin procedure. We'll just mix this for about 2 to 3 minutes. Then, as soon as na makita mo na nawala ng lumps, na-dissolve na yung gelatin natin, tanggalin na natin sa apoy. So, we will put this, on room temperature. So, yung ginagawa ko dito is, parang sinasubmerge ko yung bottom sa sa cold water para madali siyang mag-cold. But however, hindi kayo nagmamadali, you could always just gamitin nyo na lang yung electric fan. Tapos, hintayin nyo na lang na siya sa room temperature. Huwag nyo ilagay sa coconut mixture na mainit kasi magme-melt yung first base natin or yung coconut mixture natin pag mainit pa to. So, see, I'm checking it with my hand na hindi na siya mainit. So, it's already like room temperature na siya. Kung medyo mainit, konti lang, pero but not really. Kung yung hindi mo na talaga mararamdaman mainit siya. So, tinanggal ko na to sa freezer. Yung center niya is matubig pa yan. Kasi nag-shortcut nga ako, matubig pa yan. So, however, the edges at saka yung top niya has already set. So, yun, kinuha ko yun, tinikman ko talaga yan. But, yun nga. So, since alam ko na nagsiset na siya, tapos malamig na din yung chocolate mixture natin, ilalagay ko na to sa ref, and this time, hindi ko na to nilagay sa freezer. Okay? Hindi ko na to nilagay sa freezer. Sa refrigerator na lang talaga on a cooling temperature. And then, pinaset ko na to for 6 to 8 hours. So, natulog lang ako. Pagkatapos na natulog ako, yun, tinanggal ko na yun sa ref. And then, we're going to do the next procedure kung paano natin tatanggalin to. So, this is actually the basic kung paano tatanggalin yung panna cotta. Right, so we boil water. So, just enough na para masubmerge yung mold natin. So, this is actually a bowl, a glass bowl. And then, nilagyan ko lang to ng hot water. So, really, from boiling. So, yeah, you guys need to be careful dealing with this one kasi mainit talaga siya. You have to make sure na hindi to nagtatouch sa hands mo. So, what you're gonna do is just really submerge the mold para lang at least to warm it up, to loosen it up, para at least pag-flip natin, madali na lang siya pag-flip. So, eto, kinuha ko na sa freezer yung panna cotta na mixture natin. And then, I placed it here on the hot water just for about 10 to 15 seconds. Kasi makapal tong Tupperware na to. Pero if manipis lang yung gamit mo, or if you're using like a small mold, make sure that it's just lesser. Kasi pag 10 to 15 seconds, madali lang to madali lang to malusaw. So, the reason 10 to 15 seconds to kasi makapal yung mold niya. At saka malaki din to. So, after that, yun, mag-flip na tayo. So, kuha na lang ako ng kung saan natin ilalagay itong Tsoko Loco natin. So, yun, nag-wipe na muna ako. So, bawal yung yung tubig na mapunta diyan. So, that's the reason why I wipe the bottom part or kung ano yung na-submerge ng water. And there we go. Ito yung maganda ng design ng Tupperware eh. Kasi the moment that you get this, boom, yun. Nag-release na siya. There you go. May design pa na flower eh. Sabi pa ng mom ko, may iba-iba pa pala yung design. Sabi ko, baka natapon ko na. Nagalit. So, ayun. It looks like black sambo, but it's not. So, it's actually this is actually based sa Western dessert na fusion ko talaga sa flavors natin. So, ito yung talagang matatawag na our own Filipino dessert. So, check it out. Ito talaga yung kilalabasan niya. And then, makikita mo na parang may white na liquid dahil yan sa nagme-melt talaga yung panna cotta. So, this is not actually good for outdoors. 30 minutes time, it's going to parang melt. That's how panna cottas are. So, the moment that you take it out, you have to consume it immediately. Or, if di mo naman makonsume to immediately, balik mo na lang ulit sa ref. And then, eto na yung latik natin. Prepare ko to same time na pa-prepare ko dyan. Pero, I just placed this outside, sa room temperature lang talaga. I did not put this refrigerator. Kasi, if nilagay mo yan sa refrigerator, magiging matigas yan para yung magiging candy. So, yan. So, it's time for us to assemble this dessert. Para ma-finalize na natin. Matagal-tagal na din tong video na to. So, eto na nga. So, let's put it in. Nilagay ko yan sa center talaga. So that it will just drip. Parang drip cake. So, this time, latik yan with our very own flavors. Filipino flavors for this dessert. So, something that we can really call our own. So, pwede ko naman talagang i-shorten tong video na to eh. Pero kaso lang, since this is something new to everybody, it would really be best na masasabi ko talaga yung every step of the way para hindi nyo naman na-miss. Kasi if you're gonna prepare this for Christmas, I also don't want na it's gonna flop or there's gonna be something wrong. At least you wouldn't miss any single step. So, eto na yun. Ganda na siya na meron na siyang latik. Yan. And then, meron pa tayong nakalimutan. Yung the last topping natin. Yan. Parang wood chips. Pero yun, yung coconut na, shredded coconut na re-nose natin. Roasted, shredded coconut. Or if you're gonna use like desiccated coconut, yan, desiccated coconut yan. So, just put enough. So, we have all the textures in. Meron tayong soft, meron tayong parang gooey, at saka meron tayong crunchy. Isa din to sa nagpapasarap eh. Itong coconut, shredded coconut natin. Kasi, it would give you like a little crunch. Kasi nilagyan nga natin to ng brown sugar. Yung brown sugar talagang nagka-caramelize yan. So, the moment it caramelizes, yun ang bibigay ng crunch sa dessert na to. So, it's not, I actually tried this and then akala ko matamis siya. But then, it's not. Kasi nga, yung matamis lang talaga na ginamit natin na sugar was the white sugar, which is the base sa coconut cream natin. So, however, most of the time, we're using like the mascovado sugar. It has that sweet scent. However, it's not really that sweet. Surprise nga ako eh. Ngayon pa lang talaga ako nakapag-explore ng mascovado. So, it's a good thing I try this. It's actually something different. Tapos, it's actually a perfect pair kasi hindi siya masyadong matamis to the extent that it's a bit, meron siyang hint ng medyo maasim eh. So, this is a dessert, which is something unique. Yung medyo maasim, hindi siya matamis. So, this is actually perfect, especially sa mga tao na madali lang maumay or something. But this is something different. So since may natira pa din ako na latik, yun, tinaping ko na. Tapos, kayo na bahala kung paano nyo i-represent yan sa Christmas nyo. Pwede nyo ilagay pati yung shredded coconut or desiccated coconut nyo. It's actually very flavorful. Yung coconut na base niya, it's really good, really good. And then, you would know that you're making actually a very good panna cotta. Yun talagang nagji-jiggle siya. So, eto na yung panna cotta natin. See? As I move it, nagji-jiggle talaga yan. And then, just make sure that you don't take it out from the ref for a maximum of 30 minutes kasi nagme-melt yan. Ganun talaga yung traditional na panna cotta. It will hold its form if it's on a cold temperature. However, if it's on a room temperature, nagme-melt yan. Hindi naman parang ice cream na madali siya nagme-melt. But then, slowly, it's gonna melt. So, hindi to pang outdoor. Right? So, this is it. I hope you guys would try this. And if you have questions or if you wanted me to cook something else, just leave a comment. And then send us a message, whatever you like. Merry Christmas sa inyo lahat. Christmas gift na to sa inyo.